Well, good for you. You were saying to yourself, hey, I wish I had an example. I feel like I need a little help. I understand what the assignment is, but I'm struggling with the math a bit. So thanks for coming by. Let me see if we can look at a possible firing command. Let's say, just for example, that we would like to the laser so that it hits this spot and this spot. Well, there's a trouble with the matrix there, so it's going to come through here somewhere and hit those two. So, question is, what would be the linear equation that would hit both of those spots? And if I wanted to, I can just jot down my points. I'm trying to hit through 22, 22, 22, 22, and 28, 20. That's my goal. Let's see if we can come up with that equation. So to begin with, I'm going to go ahead and look at the my y variables. I'm having some difficulties here. So let's go ahead and look at what is the change in our y variable. So our delta y, I'm just going to take 22 and subtract the one below it, 20. Right? So if you look closely, I'm finding the difference in the y variables of my 2 points. And then to find the delta x, I'm going to take the 22 and subtract 28. And that's the difference in those x variables. And notice I did it from the same direction. I took the top point and I subtracted the bottom one. So I've got 22 minus 20 over 22 minus 28. Well, 22 minus 20 is positive 2. And 22 minus 28, 6, 7, 8, it's negative 6. Negative 6. I've seen that fraction before. I believe it is negative 1/3. Right? There's a giant 1 in the form of 2 over 2 in there. So I know my slope parameter. My slope parameter is 1/3, down 1 over 3. But I still need to figure out my y-intercept parameter. So to do that, I'm going to select one of the two original points I had. I'm going to select this first point, and it has both an x value and a y value. So now I've got a point, 22, 22, and I've got a slope rather of negative 1/3, and I'm going to find the y-intercept. So I'm going to use y equals mx plus b, and my y value is 22. So is x, but I'm being very careful to copy the one that's y there. You can tell the difference. Equals negative 1/3 times the 22, and then plus b. Oh, I don't think this is going to be a pretty y-intercept. Or is it? Maybe rational numbers are very pretty. So this is going to be negative 22 thirds plus b. So I've got the 22, and I'm going to add to that 22 thirds. And that's what b is. So I added 22 thirds to both sides. Here comes a giant 1. I'm going to multiply 22 by 3 over 3. And it's totally fine that I'm just doing it to just that one number because I'm multiplying by the number 1. So I'm not changing 22, I'm just going to change its formatting. In my numerator, I get 66. In the denominator, I have 3 plus 22 over 3. And that's what b is. Well, this is beautiful. I end up getting 22 plus 66 is 88 thirds. Now, I believe that can't be reduced, meaning there's no giant 1 lurking there. For sure, if I want to, as whoa, 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 whoa. My ink is falling out of the pen. I could write this as 29 and 1/3. But this notation's always been problematic for me because this is literally 29 plus 1/3 more. And I just don't like introducing addition here. Everywhere else where I tend to write things together, it's a multiplication problem. Except for here, this is not 29 times 1/3. This is 29 plus 1/3. So you'll find I always prefer improper fractions in their imperfection. So I'm just going to leave this as 88/3. If I could reduce it, I would, but I like 88/3. So let's come back in and summarize what we have. We have both our slope parameter and we have our y-intercept parameter. So I should be able to write the equation of the line. The equation of the line should be y equals negative 1/3 x plus 88/3. Now I'm not just going to leave that without checking it. That seems kind of ridiculous. But I don't want to check it by plugging in, certainly not without a calculator. So the way I'm going to check this time is I'm going to come down 88/3. I'm going to come down here where I've got Desmos already open. Yes, Desmos is sitting in OneNote. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm just going to type that equation. I'm going to type y. Whoa, get back up here. Please let me type y. It won't let me type. Well, apparently that's a strange limitation to Desmos living in OneNote. Y. Now, y equals negative 1 divided by 3 x plus 88/3. Oh, you see the universe is a wonderful place. And certainly it appears that we have successfully hit both of those meteors with that one little tiny firing command. Where'd my other meteor go? Well, there they are. So they're both there. So you can see we've hit 22/22 and 28/20 with y equals negative 1/3 x plus 88/3. The important thing, right? The important thing is that we got to spend some time looking at how to find, oh, that's what I was typing earlier, how to find the equation of a line given 2 points. Thanks for stopping by.